Hi, everyone. I'm John Mesko. I'm the Executive Director of Potato Sustainability Alliance. This is the member update webinar. If you signed in or tried to attend the member update webinar live back on September 13th, you know that we had some technical difficulties. So this is just a flat recording of the presentation. And if there are questions that people have, certainly happy to respond via email or whatever we need to do from there. So with that, I'll just go ahead and get started. This is the member update webinar. Just a quick reminder of what these are. This is an additional opportunity for PSA stakeholders to keep up with what we're doing. There is a lot happening. We only have 4 board meetings a year, and not everybody is on every committee, not everybody's on every team, and it's helpful to have additional ways for people to learn about what's going on. We hold these update webinars about every 4 to 6 weeks before every board of directors meeting. It's a way of making sure everybody's aware of the issues that are being worked on and be ready for that board meeting when we actually get there. They are intended for members only. We are okay sharing some of this stuff with the public, but these are the kinds of things that PSA members are concerned about. And so be happy to talk with folks who want to learn more, but these webinars are intended for members. They're optional. We're not making any votes. We're not making any decisions. If this were a live webinar, as they are intended to be, we would have an opportunity for feedback and questions. But these are just optional information flow, basically. And we do we do allow people to register for these on our website. This has been out there for a while now, the member portal. The member portal is accessed on our website, which is potatosustainability.org. In the upper right, you'll see member login. You click on that and you enter the password advancing potatoes. That password may change for the purposes of security, but right now that's our password, and we'll let you know as members if that changes. But on that portal, we're continually adding information. We're continually building that out. But we have an events calendar. We have this recording and other update recordings. We have the board meeting minutes, the meeting minutes of all of our working groups, as well as a number of member resources and information. So that is your place to go. If you're sitting there wondering what's going on with PSA, what has been happening, that's the place to go. That's where you can learn about what's happening. For our purposes today, I'd like to remind everybody that the decisions that we made at the July board meeting in Boise, we approved a membership policy changes. Again, these details would have been out there on the member portal or have been emailed to you in the past. We've approved the logo use guidelines for how our members can display and use the PSA logo. We asked the program design team to do a number of things. And we asked them, one of the things was to develop a framework for a multi-option approach to be reviewed by our board in January. Also in July, we adopted the greenhouse gas team's recommendation as stated in the board memo. Again, that's on the board portal or the member portal. And that recommendation was that the team recommends the use of Cool Farm Tool as an enabler for PSA members and farmers who are responding to specific customer requests for energy and carbon data. The board also approved a water management team proposal with the target of delivering a recommendation regarding water stewardship pillar of our program at the January 3rd meeting. The board also approved a pilot for the CropWise sustainability tool from Syngenta with a subset of our growers to report on the application in comparison to the current PSA survey in January. And there was a request for developing an RFP to identify improved tools for use in the future. So, in response to all those things that we've been working on or that were assigned to us as an organization in July, we have a PSA water management team. These are the folks who have been selected and have volunteered to be on that team. Mike Nemeth has been chairing this discussion and doing a great job. We just finished the in-person water management team meeting in Minneapolis. That's where I tried to present this member update webinar and have ran into the technical difficulties. But these are the folks that are on the water management team, and they've been at work meeting diligently about every other week, as well as this in-person meeting that we just finished. With regard to the Sustainable Outcomes in Agriculture pilot, if this were a live webinar, this would be Natalie Nesberg's presentation, but I'll take you through this. Essentially, the program design team took the discussion of the SOA pilot under consideration and put out several expectations regarding the pilot. And then one of them was that we need to align this timeline of this pilot with the current PSA survey timeline. It certainly helps us on a staff level and gives us some consistency in our communications. Participants are going to be asked to complete both the SOA pilot as well as the CropWise, as well as the PSA survey. It's a little bit larger ask, but we certainly want to be able to compare the experiences that people have filling those two tools out. And we're going to ask them to submit some feedback to us, a simple survey that they can give us information on and feedback on how those two assessments worked for them. We will, as part of our work this fall, continue to compare and do a crosswalk of the two standards, the questions that are involved and the areas of focus that they delve into and how the functionality works. And we will report on that as well in January. Here's that timeline that I spoke of. This matches up with our current PSA survey timeline. We're going to launch this in just under a month. We have a deadline of November 16th. And if we meet that deadline, if our survey participants, our pilot participants are able to meet that deadline, we will be able to get information and feedback and reports from Syngenta on the data that's been inputted. So it's a really important deadline for us to meet, and we hope that everyone can comply with that. The deadline for the PSA survey is December 2nd. That's, as a reminder, that is quite a bit earlier than what we've done in the past. We have always had a deadline around the new year, but have been very quick to extend that deadline in the past. One of the things that all of our members and stakeholders have been asking for is more feedback on the data that we do collect, more reports on what we've been learning. And in order for us to do that, we really feel like the best time to present those things is at the annual general meeting in January and in conjunction with Potato Expo. Well, that comes around pretty quickly. It's the first week of January, as we all know. And with the holidays in there, we really want that deadline for completing the PSA survey to be early December, so we do have a window to have some information ready to share. We will also request feedback on the two assessments and comparing those two assessments by mid-December, and then January 3rd at our next in-person board meeting and annual general meeting, be able to share some of the results and some of the thoughts that we have on that. So our current set of volunteers, we have sent out a volunteer request to all of our growers. It was included in the August newsletter. Probably we'll look for getting a few more, but we have 17 volunteers and they're spread out this way. We're hoping for at least 5 to 10 in each region. So we are looking for a few more from the East. And if necessary, we'll be tapping our processors that have farmers in those areas to help us promote the pilot and help us to recruit new pilot volunteers. A Final call for volunteers will be sent out to all growers that receive the PSA survey invite, and that will be coming again real shortly as we're opening the survey in early October. So we have a virtual board meeting coming up in November. This is one of the main reasons we're doing the member update webinar. So that's November 7th. The links to that meeting will be sent out as well as an agenda, but this is not an agenda. These are just some expectations. We're going to receive an update on where we're at with Cool Farm Tool. We'll receive another update on this pilot that I just referred to. We'll receive an update on the multi-level approach that the program design team has been working on. We are going to receive a nominations committee update. There have been some suggested changes to the nominations policy as we grow and develop as an organization. How we select our own board is something that needs to be relevant to how we're set up and our membership. And so there's been some suggested changes, and the nominations committee is currently looking at those and evaluating, and we'll have a recommendation to vote on. We will have a 2023 budget proposal, and this is going to be an interesting year because it is going to be a way for us to really think about how is our work going to be funded in the future, and what is the best use of those resources. And so the 2023 budget proposal will be in November. We will also preview our work at the Potato Expo, what to expect at Potato Expo in Colorado in January. And I will tell you right now that we had last year had a happy hour the day before the expo, in the afternoon of our annual general meeting. This happy hour was a chance for, we did this last year, and it was a chance for potential members, organizations that have an interest in PSA but are not yet members, to learn about us, meet our leaders, meet our staff, meet our existing members, and learn about some of the impacts and some of the opportunities that are there to make an impact in potato sustainability through PSA. We want to do that again, and we're going to be seeking some sponsorships to put that on. We want people to feel like being a part of PSA is an important work in the potato industry, but also a chance to connect with some really, really talented people and some important work that's going on. Other PSA dates coming up. You can see the November 7th webinar. There'll be another one of these November 7th board meeting. There's another one of these update webinars on December 1st that will preview the January meeting. We have the meeting in January on the 3rd, and then you can see the 2023 meetings are scheduled except for the June meeting. That will coincide with the PSA Summer Symposium, and we're still nailing down the date and location for that, so stay tuned. And that's what's headed our way for 2023. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties earlier this week with regard to a live PSA update webinar. At that time, I would have said, are there any questions? And we could have had a discussion. It just seemed the simplest way to do this was to record my presentation to you here today, send that out. If there are questions, I'm certainly happy to respond to those in a group email with folks that are interested. If there's anything that becomes or rises to the level of importance that we need to schedule another meeting to discuss, we certainly can. Happy to do that. But hopefully this gives you an idea, a sense of what we're going to be talking about at the November meeting. And as we send out the agenda and the information, which is scheduled to come out 2 weeks prior to that meeting, folks can be ready to participate and engage and ask good questions. So as always, I answer the phone when you call. I respond to your emails. So if there are any questions or things that you're concerned about, please let me know. Look forward to engaging with you in a live member update webinar soon. Okay, thank you very much.